God told me to quit my job, and in less than 5 to 6 months, He restored me. He provided me with a new job, now making double and more than what I was making. He allowed me to get my dream car, and He also allowed me to buy my own investment property that is fully renovated and has a renter in it, and it's doing great. So this is my testimony on how God restored my life very quickly. So in May of 2023, God told me to quit my job. I knew it was Him for many reasons. When God tells me to do so or leads me to do something, I just feel it in my spirit. And that job that I was at, it just didn't feel like it was giving life to my spirit anymore, that atmosphere. So God put it on my heart to quit my job. And for some reason, like I said, I felt peace about leaving a perfectly fine work from home job, but yet I had absolutely no backup plan or knowing what was next. So after quitting my job, I basically asked God to give me a new job, and things did not go like that at all. I asked Him more so, I believe, out of fear of not knowing what's next. So I quit my job immediately, or pretty much that same exact day. I got a text or a message from an old friend from Facebook who was reaching out about a job opportunity, but it definitely wasn't a job opportunity that I was looking for. It was kind of like a sales job where I had to just sell products to, my family and friends. And that was something I kind of heard about, and I was definitely not interested in it. But I kept feeling God leading me to just kind of go with it and to trust Him. So I said yes to the job. I said yes to the opportunity, at least. And we're going to get back to that later. So 1 month passed by, 2 months passed by, still no job, still no money coming in. And this is where doubt and even frustration at God came in. Like, why would you allow me to quit and not provide? And another question that came up to me was, why has my obedience seemingly caused me more frustration? That's a question I feel like we sometimes ask God. Why has my obedience caused me more frustration? But God consistently kept giving me confirmations after confirmations, whether it's by numbers. He talks to me in numbers, license plates, people, His word. He just kept saying, you're on the right path. Just continue to trust me. So, not long story short, but 3 months passing by, still in the summer, no job. I'm running up my credit card. I think I'm like $7,000, $8,000 in debt. I finally reached my credit card limit, so now I really don't have any money. And yeah, it was to the point where I had to ask my friend for $1 I was trying to get a McChicken. So yeah, let's just say it was really testing time. But the point in this season, though, I somehow every time a bill was due, I noticed miraculously money came through from many different means. Like one time randomly, my cousin, I guess that's her name, Danielle, sent me $250 because, quote, God told her to. My uncle randomly needed a ride, and he just hit me up. He said, hey, I'll give you gas money. And that was the time where I literally needed $15 to pay my barber. So always somehow He provided for me in the last minute exactly what I needed. So, it was kind of teaching me that I can depend on God even when it feels like I don't have enough, because God is my enough. He is my source. And something else to add, in this time when I quit my job, there's also going to be voices or even people that that aren't going to agree with all your decisions, especially like, stuff that might affect other people. So yeah, not everybody was in agreement with, I heard, that's not God. God wouldn't tell you to do that. You hear stuff like that when you follow God. So, but you have to know that it was God. You have to know in your heart that God did tell you to do this. And God's voice. How He speaks to you. When He's leading you to do a thing, even if it seems not impractical, when it's Him. So yeah, that's just another thing. Be aware that there will be people, there will be voices, there will be people closest to you that won't agree. that might bring doubt unintentionally or intentionally. But the point is to keep your faith in God and what you know. And that's what I did. And it panned out and it played out for me very, very well. So they gave me more than what I asked for. They gave me 2 of these. I only got 1. I was worried about weight loss and stuff, and I keep feeling like God was telling me more than what I asked for. And he confirmed his word through this. God bless. God is faithful. I kept hearing God say surplus in my spirit. Surplus means more than what is needed, overflow. God wanted to show me, even when you have nothing, you have everything. As a child of God, I don't have to put my hope in my job, my resources, or even my ability or my hustle. You know what I mean? God himself is my provision. He is my source. The only way to see your true source is allow God to remove all the false ones. And in this season, that's what God was doing. He was removing everything that I thought was my source, whether it's my job, whether it's my ability to hustle, whether it's just, people in my life, my family is my source or whatever. He removed all those things so that he can show up miraculously to the point where I knew it was only God providing for me. So after 3 months, my uncle calls me and he says, hey, the government's hiring for this job. I have a friend who was a recruiter and, she said she could possibly get you in. So I applied. I'm waiting over a month. I'm hoping for good news. And I feel a peace within my soul about this job. So a month passes by, I get an email and woohoo, congratulating me that I got the job. And great news about this job is that I didn't need any interview. It was direct hire. And guess what? I'm making more than double what I was making at my job that he told me to quit now. So not only am I have a job that is, a good job. It's from the government, but now I'm making double. It's work from home. And you know what I mean? It's even better than what I had. So had I held on to, what I wanted to hold on to in the past, I'm probably wouldn't be in this position. So another lesson is to be able to trust God to let go of things that he's asking you to let go, because he's only trying to bring you into more. So yeah, I got double portion. That's another promise that God has told me he would do in my life. Even this blessing highlighted how I don't have to chase my blessings, but rather by walking with God, they always find me instead. I didn't apply for thousands of jobs frantically seeking a blessing that was already ordained for me. It found me. It flowed to me effortlessly. And now, speeding up to this day, I was able to buy the dream car that God promised me in 2021. He told me I would be getting. He would provide for me a Tesla Model S. And to this day, November of 2023, I got my Tesla Model S, and I got it wrapped, and I feel like it's better than I ever would have expected it to be. Like, it's beautiful to me, and it just looks amazing. I love it. Anyways, that was another promise. And even in those 3 months of no job, I was, like I said, I got an opportunity from an old friend to do sales, and I didn't like doing it at all. It was kind of like I had to just go, and I was just pushing through. I had to go to meetings out in Colombia, driving out there. I even went on a trip all the way to New York with all of them to like this conference where we were learning how to do sales and learning all these tech. And I was just like kind of done with it. I didn't really want to do it, but I just felt something in my spirit telling me keep doing it. And in this time, I learned how money works, though. Like, as I look back, I was like, we were led to read books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We were learning about, how money works, how to, have assets and decrease your liabilities, and you know what I mean? Like the pathway to true wealth. And it's like, yeah, I didn't want to do that, but as I look back, that was the thing that really helped open my eyes up to how finances work. And you know what I mean? So from that experience moving forward, it led me to buy my first investment property. So God even provided me the ability to buy my first investment home It was fully renovated. It was for a great price. It was under market value, and I was able to buy it. And I now have a tenant in there, and I'm now getting above market rent for the property. So that's back to the promise of surplus. God provided surplus in like every aspect. So the last lesson is truly to trust God when it doesn't feel good, look good, or even make sense, because you can be sure that greater is coming. And that relates back to the just taking that opportunity to do that sales job that I did not want to do, that I was in there for months and months and months, going to meetings like literally every day, every other day or 3 times a week. Sometimes it felt like we would have a meeting, I would have to sit, I would have to invite friends, and I was just kind of going through the steps, but I was learning, but I was just like, no, like, God, I want more. But it all had purpose. And yeah, that's important, to trust God even when it doesn't make sense, even when you feel like he's calling you in this place that's just seems dry, seems unfamiliar. These are the moments where you want to trust God, because it has a purpose and it has a greater value to you even in your future. And that's what God showed up. So that's my kind of short little testimony of the last really year of what has happened, transcended in my life. And I just thank God. And I hope this inspires you to trust God. I hope this inspires you to let God lead you, because he's not leading you into something lower. He's taking you to something higher. Thank you. Amen.